Welcome to the Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button below to receive updates and notifications. Today we're joined by Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz, who will lead us in meditation. Then we'll have 20 minutes of silence, and after that we'll open it up for sharing. Over to you, Kenny.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope it's been a happy one. To be honest, I chose this piece because it's been a scary one for a lot of people. A lot of people have been ill, and it's quite profound how many, I work mainly with men, how many men around me have felt very, very vulnerable, especially if they've been ill, very alone, very kind of falling down and out of control in what's going on. It's been quite a strange beginning to the year. And when I was there, luckily I was only ill for one day, but when I was there, I went through a little darkness and a little transformation that I'd be very happy to talk about after I read you lesson 75. The light has come. The light has come. You are healed and you can heal. The light has come. You are saved and you can save. You are at peace and you bring peace with you wherever you go. Darkness and turmoil and death have disappeared. The light has come. Today, we celebrate the happy ending to your long dream of disaster. There are no dark dreams now. The light has come. Today, the time of light begins for you and everyone. It is a new era in which a new world is born. The old one has left no trace upon it in its passing. Today, we see a different world because the light has come. Our exercises for today will be happy ones, in which we offer thanks for the passing of the old and the beginning of the new. No shadows from the past remain to darken our sight and hide the world forgiveness offers us. Today, we will accept the new world as what we want to see. We will be given what we desire. We will to see the light. The light has come. Our longer practice periods will be devoted to looking at the world that our forgiveness shows us. This is what we want to see, and only this. Our single purpose makes our goal inevitable. Today, the real world rises before us in gladness to be seen at last. Sight is given us now that the light has come. We do not want to see the ego shadow in the world today. We see the light, and in it, we see heaven's reflection lie across the world. Begin the longer practice periods by telling yourself the glad tidings of your release. The light has come. I have forgiven the world. Dwell not upon the past today. Keep a completely open mind, washed off all past ideas, and clean off every concept you have made. You have forgiven the world today. You can look upon it now as if you never saw it before. You do not know yet what it looks like. You merely wait to have it shown to you. While you wait, repeat several times, slowly and in complete patience. The light has come. I have forgiven the world. Realize that your forgiveness entitles you to vision. Understand that the Holy Spirit never fails to give the gift of sight to the forgiving. Believe He will not fail you now. You have forgiven the world. He will be with you as you watch and wait. He will show you what true vision sees. It is His will, and you have joined with Him. Wait patiently for Him. He will be there. The light has come. You have forgiven the world. Tell Him no, you know you cannot fail because you trust in Him. And tell yourself you wait in certainty to look upon the world He promised you. From this time forth, you will see differently. Today, the light has come, and you will see the world that has been promised you since time began, and in which is the end of time ensured. The shorter practice periods, too, will be joyful reminders of your release. Remind yourself every quarter of an hour or so that today is a time for special celebration. Give thanks for mercy and the love of God. Rejoice in the power of forgiveness to heal your sight completely. Be confident that on this day there is a new beginning. Without the darkness of the past upon your eyes, you cannot fail to see today. And what you see will be so welcome that you will gladly extend today forever. Say then, the light has come. I have forgiven the world. Should you be tempted, say to anyone who seems to pull you back into the darkness, the light has come. I have forgiven you. We dedicate this day to the serenity in which God would have you be. Keep it in your awareness for yourself and see it everywhere today as we celebrate the beginning of your vision and the sight of the real world, which has come to replace the unforgiven world you thought was real.
Open your eyes and come back into the room. We have 15 minutes left for sharing your reflections and your questions. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand and I'll invite you to take yourself off mute. Who would like to share? Evelyn?
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kenny. Gosh, isn't that so appropriate and so healing and lovely and very uniting. You know, we see everybody as the same as the light of God, and it's so simple, but it just really gets home straight away, brings us home straight away. So thank you so much. It's just what I need, and I'm sure what everybody needs, and certainly the world needs it. So bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I guess just crossed my mind to have an invitation for everyone, because the words are all well and good, but to live it, to remember, and I found it quite curious that it said every 15 minutes. And it's like, so are people going to put alarm clocks on? Suddenly you're startled 15 minutes, we're back. And then what I thought I'd do is take my wedding ring and engagement ring and put them on the other hand. And I wonder what you lot might do, just so there's something a little different, if only for today, just to remember this choice. And it does feel very much like a choice to draw a line and to reconnect.
Who'd like to share? Norman, take yourself off mute.
Yes, sometimes it takes a long time for pennies to drop with me, and light was one of them. What kind of light? You look it up in a dictionary, about 3 or 4 pages of what it might be. But thankfully, this morning, it's very simple. It just means enlightenment. But you wonder why it took so long for that to realize that that's really all it means. You know, it's just enlightenment. And pennies do drop very quickly. Ah, that's what that means. Ah, that's what that means. Instead of, I do carry the dictionary sits beside the course because some of the words are so poetic, really. But it's just a wee simple thing. Enlightenment, understanding. Got it. As they say, the wee lad says in the TV to his mum when he was cross, I got it, or something like that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny, for that lesson. It's a beautiful lesson. It's an affirmation. I love it. And well, I set my insight timer for every 15 minutes when I do that lesson. So, so it gives me a little ding, and then I remember to. And what is your experience of that lesson?
After Christmas and New Year, and a friend came to Wales to stay after he left, I was exhausted, being, walking out in the cold in the countryside and things like that. And I remember waking up one morning feeling that my bones were very cold. Um, Maybe I had a temperature coming on. Um, it was no big deal. I just had a bit of a cold, really. But I realized that I needed to rest, to really, really rest and stop. So I had an infrared sauna to warm my bones up, and I literally slept all day and night. And as I woke, every now and again, I could feel my fears and I could hear my thoughts of the things that were out of control, the things that I hadn't done, the things that I should do, the unfinished business, the fears, the alone, the all sorts of those doing things that were a real burden. Um, and then it crossed my mind, I might die. You know, I had a cold, but it crossed my mind, I might die. And it was such an exciting option because then all of those things will just magically go away. And I felt so free, really free. And then I noticed that all of that, my unfinished business, my projections onto the world, my fears, my doing, my I'm alone, it's like, what am I doing feeding that? It's not true. It's not important. It's trying to be in control or something. And then I went into the, not so much the death zone, but the freedom and the freedom to listen, to really listen. And I reminded myself that I'd never actually fixed anything or worked anything out in my life with my head anyway. So surely I need to remind myself to stop and just listen. And in those moments, as I kind of felt all of this and worked it through, I gave it all up. And I came back to London yesterday. I've had a month away from London. I had 2 weeks away from my computer, which is the longest I've ever had since computers were invented, and I had one thrust on me. So I was quite disconnected from my world. And the next day, I felt really quite different. I wasn't ill. I had my rest. I had the shift that I was looking for. It was dark and scary. It was light and wonderful. And I reconnected. I really felt like I reconnected. And I re engaged with life with a different sense of peace and wonder, and listening. And I just left it at that. And I remember my wife drove me back from yoga. I needed to move after all of that. And she said, "Oh, you've got an interesting email in your inbox from Radio 4." And I thought, oh, okay, so it's another panel or interview or something or other. And then I looked at it later and it was something I'd never heard of. They're asking 5 people to play different organs and to be an orchestra of organs, internal organs. And I was chosen to be the heart. And I felt that in that moment, I was reconnected to my heart, to my spirit, to my oneness, to my presence, beyond anything and everything that I inflicted on the world, and all the negative lenses and the doings. And it's like, yeah, the best things, the best people. My life is wonderful for me because I followed and listened. Nothing that I've done, everything that I've undone, but just listening and following. And that's how my life has worked. So that's my experience. And it's so interesting how many men, and I was in this room yesterday with, I think it was about 8, 9 men in a closed group. And one of the guys talked about when he actually died before he was resuscitated and his experience, which was quite similar to mine, of freedom and being met by the light and the review and nothing to think about, nothing to fix, nothing to do. And it was great to be with him telling this story, to be with another man who talked about when he attempted to take his life, and to be with the fear as well as the love that was in the room. So we could all speak it out into the world, because this is real life. This doesn't have to be our secrets. To speak it out and be with it and consciously choose our paths in that group and in every moment.
Thank you, Kenny. That was really helpful. Thank you. Would anybody else like to share?
Sandy.
Right, Kelly, thank you for that. That was wonderful, and it's lovely that you shared that as well. When I was doing the meditation, just getting into it, and I always ask, what do you want me to know from what you've already talked about, you know? And just gently sitting there and just enjoying it. But slowly, people's faces were coming to me who I haven't forgiven, and it felt really peaceful, felt really gentle, and it was just me saying, I've forgiven you, the light has come, I've forgiven you. And it was just like a very gentle, slow slideshow happening of all these different faces. And then that dissolved, and I just was in the light, and it was just expanding. So then it was just very, very peaceful. So it was very, really beautiful. So that was such a lovely catalyst, that lesson, to get me into that place, which is lovely. So I feel so, yeah, peaceful and still and, yeah, expansive. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I wondered also, because it's easy to have the intention, but I wondered if anyone or anything comes up today, especially, that I haven't forgiven, I might jot it down so it's there and I can refocus and know where I am and what I have the opportunity to deal with, and here and now, rather than waiting for my death. It's like, may as well. Why wait? What's the difference anyway?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the other thing that's just come to mind as you're saying that is one of the faces was my own. That was really quite interesting. I was like, oh, okay. To forgive myself too. All the things I think I've done. So, yeah. Thank you.
Who'd like to share? So Victoria said, sorry I can't come on camera, but thank you for sharing, Kenny. It was so spot on for everything that's going on, and or appears to be.
Thank you, Victoria. And it is a scary time for a lot of people, politically, wars, climate, elections, who knows what's going on. It's out of control. It's scary. And on the other hand, what a catalyst for love. What a catalyst to connect, to remember. And I guess for me, it is real, but not to be distracted and to move through it in love. And therefore, to be able to reconnect with people or to connect with people, like right here and right now, in love.
That's beautiful. Who'd like to share? Lottie, take yourself off mute.
Everything's changed on my screen, so I have a job finding what buttons to press. Thank you so much for listening in the choosing of this meditation, because it's obviously spot on for a lot of people. And as soon as you started, I thought, wow, this is just what I need to hear. and it's to do with my bodily health, and I've been challenging myself about how to handle the situation with increasing pain and possible surgery and so on. I feel quite light inside, but there's always a bit of a shadow there as well, and I need some sort of light to chase the shadows away, and that's really helped this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And sending love to your health.
Thank you.
Okay, we've come to the end of our time together. Kenny, thank you. That was so spot on and got so much out of it. And thank you for sharing your love. Take yourself off mute and show your appreciation to Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Good to see you again.
Love
Look
you.
forward to
Love you
next
all.
time.
Beautiful session. Thank you so